welcome to the sewing guide for Madalynne September. Should I say the year? I mean, you might be watching this a year from now, 2 years from now, so yeah, let's do it. September 2025 collection, Lover. Hello, I'm Maddie from Madalynne Intimates, and we do everything DIY lingerie, as well as swimwear, activewear, and corsets. We are known for our DIY kits, but we also do bra making workshops, both in person and online, retreats. We sell supplies on our website. We also do ready-mades and events such as frocktails. Okay, so before we get into the deep, let's first go over the inspiration because y'all, this collection came together in like 2.5 weeks. I was teaching in Scotland and messaging my vendors being like, yo, you gotta finish that fabric. It's gotta be there when I get back because this collection has to go down. So September was all planned out. I had my fabrics planned, I had my colors planned, I knew when the fabrics were coming, everything. Then, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get engaged. Now, I know that there are gonna be people out there that say, yo, we don't need any more Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce in our lives. We don't. They are already all over the news, all over the NFL. She's at every game. You know, I see it on Instagram, whatever. We don't need any more of them. And I get it. I do get it. I get that argument. But as much as I'm happy for them and that they found each other and that they're engaged and that they're getting married, it's less about them and more about that moment, that engagement photo. And the first thing that I thought when I saw that was like, this would make an epic print. This would make such a good print. I couldn't get out of my head. I literally was lying there at night and thinking like, wow, can we do a dress out of this? Can we do a rosemary? Could we do a Godiva? Could we do a Ray? I was thinking about all the things we could do from it. So I just had to make it happen. So I pushed September to October and I was like, let's do this. So this sewing guide, I want to emphasize that this is a sewing guide. It is not a sew along. It is the cliff notes of the collection. Basically something that you can reference whether you sew your DIY kits 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 weeks from now, that you can go back and be like, oh, how did she sew this? Let me see the back of that. Let me see the lace on that. Did she use pico elastic there? Did she use photo elastic there? So it is a quick run through of this collection. I usually do a blog post, but the blogger in me from 2006 thinks that people still read blogs, but I think that people really prefer video nowadays. So I'm going to do a video for this time. If you have any questions, if you're like, this is really not making sense, this is really confusing, don't hesitate to pop your questions in the comments below or to email hello@madalynne.com. Okay, so let's get into this sewing guide and quickly walk through all of the styles. Let's first start off with the easiest one, which is the Lauren bodysuit. The OG Lauren bodysuit. This style or pattern was such a hit when it came out, and I still love it so much. So there are no alterations to this. We sewed it exactly as the pattern, pico elastic along all the edges. We didn't sew a snap closure on this sample, but your kits do include it. The next style in this collection is the Madalynne Simplicity 9833 monowire bra, has foam padding. We sewed this up as is, as no alterations. The only sewing change that we made, and it's just because we wanted a cleaner look, was that we didn't finish the top edge of the foam cups with photo elastic. That's how it is in the instructions. We actually cut another layer of the satin fabric and then just finished it along this edge, and that is the only alterations that we made. We had the stretch mesh for the back. We also did line the frame with that satin just to make it a little bit easier to sew. Panties are the full butt kind, bikini, whatever you want to call it. It is not the thong, but that is this style. Style in this collection is the Ray Underwire bra and Millie panty. And this lace, I really love this lace, and I don't think the photos do it justice because it's such like a pale pink, but it's more pink than it appears in probably videos as well as photos. I also love this because I think that like this blush pink color is a great neutral color, depending on your skin tone, of course. But it's a great neutral color that like if you're wearing a blouse, a white blouse underneath, you wouldn't see the color. So for this, it is a variation of the Ray Underwire bra. And we have the center front frame. We cut that on the fold and added a seam. The reason why we did that is we wanted this to angle downwards, so we needed to add that seam in order to do it. So the frame angles downwards from the center front to the side seam. I would say that is about, let's see here. So this side seam is about 6 inches as a reference if you're making your own pattern or modifying your Ray Underwire pattern. We lined the frame with the sheer cup lining. We left the bra cups unlined just for, I don't know, just because. And then the back is the Lycra fabric, which is like a textured beige Lycra that goes really well with the off-white trims. Also from that side seam, we swooped that back band up to fit into the 3x3 hook and eye. And then this is the Millie panty. The only change that we made is that we eliminated that keyhole opening on the center back. Oh, and we also, obviously, we also added channeling on that center front seam as well as that side seam, just to add a little bit more support than the bra has. The next style is the Ray Underwire bra and Godiva bodysuit, at least the frame pattern pieces, both from my book So Lingerie. So the key thing to know about these two is that the Ray Underwire bra and the Godiva bodysuit both use the same bra cups, but they have a different frame, and that's because I want to show that you can turn your underwire bras into a bodysuit. So you could use these interchangeably, at least the bra cups. I go over that in the part 1 of the sew along for the Godiva bodysuit. Now for the bra, the book has you finish it with wide band elastic, but we wanted to use wide fold over elastic instead. We had to increase the height of the back bands since it didn't have that wide band elastic so that it would fit a 3x3 hook and eye. We also encased the picot elastic inside the channeling on this. I think gives a nice effect, just like a little detail. And we also applied or top stitch this decorative strap elastic onto the side seam. Again, just a nice detail. For the straps, we looped that same decorative strap elastic and made like a nice strap on this one as well as the long line version. Now, something to note about this lace is stretchy and it's not really supportive. So for the long line version, we actually lined it with the sheer cup lining and did like a small zigzag on top, just to add a little bit of stability. Now for this one, for the long line version, again, check out the part 1 of the Godiva bodysuit sew along. I go over how to get this back band for the frame because the Godiva bodysuit as is backless. So the change that we made to this one was that we top applied that picot elastic and then used the loops as loops to put like this satin thread through, which I think is a really nice effect. So the seam lines are exactly the same. We didn't make any changes to the pattern. We also added some lace detailing along the side seam and then used that same decorative strap elastic on the side seam just for like a little detail. So those little things that like really elevate lingerie. And then we did the same straps as the shorter version. And then the panty for this is the Penelope panty. I really like this because it's a little higher cut. The Tanika thong we use a lot, but it's just very plain. So this one's just like a little bit more interesting. I think you have the lace paneling, you have the cutouts. I just really love this style. Okay, so the last one that we'll be going over in the sewing guide is the mashup of the 9974 and the 3118. Now this sample we use black coutil, but the kits come with a beige coutil / canvas. Now you're probably thinking, how the heck did I get this pattern? Because how is it a mashup? So what I did was I loved the front eyelets on the 3118, but the 3118 is cropped. So how did I get the eyelets on that? So I used the 9974, the shorter version, as a base. So I wanted the length of this and the shape of this. But then I used the front pattern piece of the 3118, because they're pretty much the same, to get that eyelet placement. So basically this pattern is the front pattern piece of the 3118 on top of the 9974. So that's how I got that pattern, those pattern pieces. And then the construction is pretty much the same as the 9974. So all of the boning channels are finished with twill tape. They are finished with plastic boning. The eyelets are not included in the kits because eyelets are dependent on the type of press that you have. Now for this lace detailing, I just measured the length of the top edge, times it by 1.5, and then that was the length I made the this lace piece. This is about 2.5 inches long, but you can make it longer or shorter, whichever you want. Now for these tabs, I personally hate sewing the tabs around that edge. That's very hard to get binding to go around that edge really nicely. So what I did is I just finished either edge with the bias binding, and then I had them come off. And then I finished it with some of the satin strap or satin ribbon. So much easier to sew, and I think it was a really nice detail. And then I actually had them come together at the center back, just so that they wouldn't fall off the model's shoulders. All of the edges are finished with bias binding, and that is it. The collection also included the new 3164 dress. I won't be going over that in this sewing guide because there is a special class on that. But if you have any questions about any of the other styles in the collection, don't hesitate to pop your questions in the comments below or to email hello@madalynne.com.